guys. Thanks so much for tuning in and just listening to me speak. It means so much to me. Honestly, today I just want to talk about what it's like, what's been going on for me lately. I haven't posted in a while because I've just been gathering myself, gathering my thoughts. Yeah. I feel like on this journey we call life, there are times that we need to, you know, change, shed our skin. And I feel like that first part of my transformation, healing comes in different steps, right? And I feel like after I made those videos and I let my family members go, I had to let some more people go, right? That I didn't make videos on because I don't want to embarrass them. Like my older brother, I don't want to say the things that he's done to me, right? Because I feel like he was young at those times, and while he is older now and still doesn't take accountability and is still awful towards me, I just figured that I would just, make a clean cut. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really have to make a video on it and other people, because it's just like the way life is. I don't feel like I should be accepting anybody in my circle anymore that doesn't see me for who I truly am. Like growing up, I felt like I was never ever 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 seen. Never seen. Never. Nobody ever seen me. Nobody. I grew up with my grandparents, right? My dad lived in the basement. You know, he was always living his best life, and my grandparents doted and babied my younger brother, right? But then there was always me. I was always the kid that's like the annoying kid, like the one that even though I wasn't really loud per se, but I was the kid that if I wanted to tag along, it would be like she's here, so we have to accommodate her, but we're not really feeling it. And as a child, we could feel that, and we know that. You know what I'm saying? It was always like that. It's always been like that. And that's why I kind of just stayed away from everybody, right? Because it's I don't want to be a burden to anybody. I really don't. So I stay away. That's why I moved so far. And then the funny thing is, in my adult life, right? Because I was struggling while I was living close to them, and I was struggling. And it wasn't until I moved away that they started having an issue with the fact that I moved away. But I couldn't understand why they would have an issue with the fact that I moved away when I was close to them, they had so much hate and animosity towards me, right? So it's like, make up your mind. But yeah, I don't speak to anybody in my family. And honestly, I feel like it's a very lonely journey. Like, I'm not gonna tell you lies. To not have friends, anybody could. That's why I even ended up in my last relationship. It's just lonely. Before I knew who I was living in Brampton. I was 24. Okay, let's say 24. I was younger, but I lived in Brampton from 17 to 25, right? Yeah, 25. So, I remember being so desperate to know what was going on. I didn't know if there was a God or not. I was praying, I was fasting, and I wanted to change so bad, guys. So bad. So bad. So bad. I really wanted that change. That's why sometimes now when people complain to me and they don't do the work, I'm like, you don't want the change. And that's why it's spirits just leave them alone, because the way I wanted change, I would have done anything anybody told me. I was desperate for change. When you are in poverty, you will literally do anything to come out of poverty. It's not easy not being able to feed your kids, not being able to feed yourself, And I had to find a way all the time. Even if that meant I had to do without, I still had to find it. And it was exhausting, especially not having somebody to turn to. You right? I couldn't turn to my dad. I couldn't turn to my mom. You know, those times, even if I could turn to my mom, the most she would give me is $20. And the thing is, the way I would get the $20 is, it's like she had to like like make me feel like trash. You know what I mean? Like put down my character just for me to get that $20. And I honestly couldn't take it anymore. You know, I couldn't take being laughed at. I couldn't take it anymore. So I just went away. You know, I decided, that's why I decided to get inseminated with my son, because at that point in my life, I didn't even want to be here. Like every morning I woke up, I was so sad. Like I would be crying, like it's this again. Like I had no love. Yes, I had my two eldest kids, right? But I felt like, and guys, I'm just gonna speak my feelings because this page is called Quisha's Diary, so it's my diary. And honestly, I'm gonna be so real because you know what? If I feel like this, I know there are other people that feel like this too. Honestly, I felt like the two other kids I had, I love them dearly, obviously. That's why I was doing everything in my power for them. But I had them for men that I feel like did not see me, did not respect me, did not love me. There was no love there. And I needed to change something. And then after I got inseminated with my son, my life literally did change. So that's why I was thinking, like, I don't know if that was like a womb activation. I don't know what happened, but me having my third son, well, my second son, but you know what I mean, my third child, changed so much. Like, when even my pregnancy with him, it's like I kept getting visions of him speaking to me. It was like so transformational. And throughout my pregnancy with him, I found, I got into the ancestors, and Oshun came to me. Like it was so crazy. Like I had so much different experiences within that one pregnancy, and it really changed my life. And after he was born, that's when I met the man that adopted him or whatever, wanted him to be his child. And honestly, I feel like I know why I got into that relationship. It's because I was looking for love. I was desperate for love. Like I didn't have any friends at that point. At that point in time in my life, it sounds so like pathetic, but the friends that had abused me and given me postpartum, I'm not postpartum, what's it called? PTSD. I was waking up in the middle of the night with cold sweats and crying. It was a lot. I literally had an ex and friends that gave me PTSD. Like they teamed up together and were doing awful things to me. And at that point, I had become friends again with that one of the people and my baby father. And I was doing things that, you know, I was speaking to them and being nice to them. And when I think back about that moment now, I'm like, I only did that and spoke to the people that I spoke to because I literally had nobody. So I felt like somebody was better than nobody. So I went back to find all those friends that had abused me. I went back to find all those people that were treating me like trash, and I befriended them. This is actually very therapeutic to talk about, by the way. I think I'm gonna like really make an effort to do this every day. But yeah, I went back to the abusers and I befriended them because I felt like any friend was better than no friend, even though deep down I know that those friends were not really my friends to begin with. That's why I don't speak to them now, because now that I know who I am, it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? But the journey is still lonely. Like, yes, I've evolved. Yes, I've cut them off because when I finally figured out everything, I spoke to the source. I got through to the source of creation. That was a life-changing moment to me, for me. But the first question I asked was why? Like, why? Like, why am I here with no love? Like, what is this about? Because I was like, my parents don't love me, my friends don't love me. Like, and yo, I would go above and beyond for my friends, right? Like, I remember I had friends, like, They would call me and I'd be so mad for them. You know, I would help them. I'd do anything. I would lose my job for them, everything. And if I called them with a problem, they would laugh in my ears, like laugh at me, like literally laugh at me. And from then I decided that like I'm not telling anybody my business because these people aren't my friends to begin with. They're laughing at me. Like, you're not my friend. They're talking and telling people my business. You're not my friend. Right? Just like my family members, my relatives. I don't even really call them family members to begin with. My relatives. They just want to have me close to them so they can go and run and tell people my business, so they can talk down on me and laugh at me in front of my kids and say awful things about me. Like, it got to a point where I would visit my grandparents and my mom, and they would talk down on me, and my kids, my little kids, would start taking up for me. That's when I knew I couldn't visit my mom anymore, and I couldn't visit my family members anymore, because when I see my daughter taken up for me, I was like, damn, like, this is so messed up. Like, and my son, like, it's messed up that they had to take up for me. My son had to literally take up for me. Take up for me because of what he heard my grandmother saying about me. You know what I'm saying? I had to just cut them all off. But I asked the source, why? Like, why? The men I meet, they literally used the out of me. Like, I'm not gonna tell lies. I don't really date. But it looks like I date because I have so much kids, right? But I don't really date. I don't really date because I'm like I'm not like timid, but I feel energies, right? And I would try to date. I'm not gonna tell a lie. Like, when I was younger, I would try to date. But what I would notice with the guys I was dating is they would be receiving and not giving anything in return. You know what I'm saying? And that was literally like the story of my life. Like, literally. Like, I remember my first boyfriend. And that's my daughter's father, I'm gonna say, because when I got pregnant with my son, I was only 16, so I don't want to call that a relationship. Or I was 15. I gave birth at 15. I had him at 16. I don't want to call that a relationship because I was literally an infant. I didn't know what was going on. So, I mean, my first relationship, like my actual relationship, I was 17 when I met him, and I was I was just in a vulnerable state. Like, I just left the shelter. I had nobody. Like, this is the thing. And I feel like when you have nobody, you're willing to accept anything. Literally anything. Like, anything will do. That's the sad part. Anything will do, right? So, you could just imagine. Like, I don't even want to go too much into it because it's like, I feel like it was just not really embarrassing on my part, but it's the fact that I was the only one doing everything, right? If I wanted to go on a date, guess who had to pay? This girl. If I wanted to do anything, it was me, you know, give birth to his child. And it's like, I feel like after a while with that relationship, I should have left, but and that's what I should have known. I was like getting psychic, intuitive them times, because I would really literally have dreams, like literally have dreams about this guy cheating on me, and wake up and it would be so true, so true. I remember one time when I was pregnant. I don't know if I told the story here before, but I remember one time when I was pregnant, the dream told me to open his laptop and told me his password, and I didn't believe that the dream was really telling me his password. But the thing is, I was 7 months pregnant, and he had abandoned me the entire pregnancy, and I had just gotten a place, and he came over, right? So I didn't want to open his laptop to look because I just didn't want to have any drama. Like, I didn't want to, but then I couldn't go to sleep. I couldn't, like, I was haunted. It's like I was haunted by this dream. Like, every time I closed my eyes, I could just, like, it was haunting me. So eventually I got up and I put in the password, and bingo, it was the password. And I seen all the things that he was saying about me. And I was just like, damn. Like, damn. And I still stayed. I mean, we broke up, obviously, but when you had no one, and I think the thing is that the men know that you have no one, and so they prey on that. That's the thing. That's what my last ex did. He knew, and that was my mistake by telling him I had no one. But it would be obvious because if I dated you, you would wonder like, how come you don't go to your friend's house, or how come your family or whatever, right? So I just, and that's the thing I noticed is that people will take advantage of you. They'll use you at any opportunity and any chance they get. We were taught that men are supposed to be providers and protectors, and I have yet to meet one. Yikes, it's crazy. It's crazy talk. But it's true. Like, and I know now that that was because of the environment I was in, right? And I was, I guess, because they say we are the creators, I guess I created that story, right? So that's, I guess that's why all the people in my past life, I'm gonna call it a past life because I'm now entering a new life, and I'm hoping and I'm praying and I'm affirming that this new life that I step into is filled with men that are actually men, that actually are providers and protectors, that want to see me be safe and are not willing to set me up behind my back. When I met the source, I asked the source why. I was like, why, source? Why? Why? Like, why? The funny thing is, when I met the source, I wanted to ask the source about money because I wanted to, like make money, right? Like, how do I make money? But when you're with God, you don't really want to know about money. Money doesn't matter. Money seems to be like the last thing on your mind, to be honest. I was more interested in why. Why did you leave me here with these people? Why am I here with this hate? You know? And so the source told me, like, you're a messenger, so you had to go through that hate so you can evolve and turn into the being you are today. And source was so excited for me about all the pain I've been through. He said source was like, wasn't it worth it? Now at that point it wasn't worth it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, source. At that point, when source was asking if it was worth it, I was like, what? And even now I'm still like, but now at least I can say that I'm grateful because I see who those people truly are. I see them. And I see life different, right? Because now I see the karmic patterns and I see the karma in everything. I have to like take myself out of it emotionally. And that's why I haven't really been posting, because I've been just like walking around like a robot, right? It wasn't until I did a meditation the other day and Spirit was like, you haven't been experiencing life. You've been blocking life out, which I have been. I've been trying to just focus on being happy, right? And I wasn't thinking about anything because I wanted to block the emotions out. Like, I noticed that after I met Source, I don't have those thoughts anymore. Like, those thoughts, like, back in the day, I used to have like my mind used to be filled with memories and filled with like awful stuff. But now, since I've learned to identify the demons and the thoughts that they try to instill on you and push into your brain, I've learned to identify them within my vessel and speak to them, and I notice that they don't bother me as much, because when I have a thought that is not my own, I confront that thought and I say, hey, what's going on there, buddy? It's not an easy road to walk. It is not an easy road to walk. It is not. To have an older sister, you guys wouldn't even know that I had an older sister, an older sibling, I should say. And all that comes off of her is jealousy and hate. Her essence is jealousy and hate towards me, her younger sibling. Jealousy and hate. Why? You would have to ask her. Like, what is there to be jealous of? And my whole thing is, she wants to be jealous of my looks, but love, you're beautiful too. So that's what I don't understand about people. It's like they're beautiful and then they're jealous of you. For what? Like, We're all uniquely beautiful in our own way. You look like you, and you're beautiful like you, and I look like me, and I'm beautiful like me. We can't all be photocopies of each other. But, and the thing is, she does look like me because people always assume that she's my mother when we go out in public. So, what is the issue? You know, that's why I had to go to the source and ask why. But you know what? With all that, I feel like in this new journey I'm finally able to see me, you know, like to really see me. Because now when I look in the mirror, I don't see who I used to see. I see this cool ass person. I see myself and I'm like, hey, you're cool. I love you. You know what I'm saying? And I just love to look at myself now and speak to myself, you know? Before, I couldn't look in the mirror because when I looked in the mirror, I seen my mom, I seen my dad, I seen my grandmother. And I hated to see those people, so I wouldn't look in the mirror. And if I did look, I would cry, right? But now, when I look, I see an empress, a queen standing strong in who she is, you know? People will try to put you down for being strong. They will. I remember I called my grandma. I called my grandma because I really, really needed some help financially for groceries. I really needed it because when I left my ex, I had nothing, no, like if I go into that, you see how I started off on my own as a child? All that I accumulated, that man made sure I lost it all. And according to the spirits, that was his plan the entire time. And I believe it, because he doesn't care that I lost it all. He doesn't. Like when I brought it up, like he wouldn't even take accountability. He would just look at me with a plain face, like, and, you know? So I had got to a point again where it was like rock bottom. And I had no one to turn to. And even though I knew she doesn't respect me or like me, I thought maybe for her great grandkids, right? Because my grandmother has money. She had a church, you know, she's like one of those, you know, those uppity rich people who do whatever they want. Yeah, that's her. And when she is something else. She was a first lady of the church, and I remember I called her to ask for help. Remember, a first lady of the church. And I said, yeah, we don't have groceries. And she said, she tried to lie and see how I cussed her out. And I said, Grandma, when did I cuss you out? And she said, well, you said that God loves you and stuff like that. And I'm just like, this lady was mad that God loves me. It's crazy. You know what that reminds me of, though? You know, in church, well, back in the day when I was younger, you know how they used to always talk about the end times and how there are going to be people who try to make you like deny Jesus and say Jesus isn't real and they're gonna kill you and stuff like that. That's what it reminded me of when she did that. You know, the end times when they're gonna make you deny God. That's exactly what it reminded me of. It's like I had a flashback because I was like, why would you want me to say that? You know? And then she made up some lie about me being in the cemetery and working witchcraft in the cemetery. I guess since I don't go out and say Jesus, and you know, she made up lies. I don't know. Like, you know what? God does love me, right? The source does love me. The source of creation loves me. If it angers you that I'm loved, then we really shouldn't be speaking, you know? But anyways, long story short, she didn't help with the groceries because she said that, I guess I wasn't saying that God doesn't love me, because God does love me. God is love. And that's what I told her when she said that. I said, Grandma, God is love. And that got her even worse angry. Yeah, that got her even worse angry. And she said I was a liar, so... Okay. I'm not gonna argue. If I'm a liar, I'm a liar. If you think that God doesn't love me, hey, maybe in your story, I don't know. You know? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. You know? But guess what? In this Rise of the Phoenix, I am not going to give up. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not. You know, I've been doing this on my own. Been doing it on my own. I never needed them, you know? Because even though she didn't give me the grocery money, guess what? I went to Spirit and Spirit gave me the money the same day. The same day, Spirit, I guess, I don't know, I thought it was like an activation or something, but in a few hours I got money. Like, I feel like Spirit puts us on tests sometimes to see what we're going to do and see how we handle it. Because, boy, Spirit really did bless me and surprise me. I don't know if it was the same day, but I think like I spoke to her in the night, and then the next morning I woke up and like Spirit gave me money or something. Like I just randomly had money in my account. You know, and that was like such a big blessing because I didn't know who I was gonna ask, you know, who I was gonna beg, where I was gonna turn. And that's the thing, like when you're in situations like horrible situations, sometimes you have no one to turn to. That's why it's like when I think about certain things, I'm like, I just rather not put myself in situations. That's why I don't even try to have friends. I don't even try to go out there really much, you know. I meet people, but it's just like I stay in my corner because it's like I really don't want to put myself out there like that. I don't. And I know Spirit always tries to encourage me to, but I really don't want. I remember Spirit encouraged me to go out there and meet this guy, and I regret it till this day. Like, he's a nice guy and everything, but like I could have done without meeting him. Like, I did not enjoy the nights. I was actually disturbed the entire night. Didn't enjoy the night at all. And then it's like, till this day, I'm still confused about what this guy's presence is doing in my life. Like, you know, as a friend. But it's like, Spirit's like, he's a good friend. But it's like, I don't know. But I guess it's like soul family because I did ask Spirit to meet my soul family. I did. So I guess it's the people that I connect to on a soul's level because Spirit introduced me to 3 soulmates this year. 3. And 3 were karmic, right? But I guess that's the frequency I was on, right? But I knew they were my soulmates. It's just that the frequency, and honestly, they're karmic, very karmic. Like, I wouldn't even be with any of them. Like, I know we have multiple soulmates, and I can see why, because I wouldn't be with not one. Not one. Like, not even one of them. Like, the first one, it was so amazing. Like, the conversations we had, it was like we knew each other from a past life. But I'm so sorry. Like, what? When I think about that, I was just like, no. And in the second one, that's the one that Spirit was like encouraging me to meet. And it's like, no. And then the third one, I'm like, no. Like, no. That's karmic. Like, he's big. He's giving big karmic energy. And the other one, I think, would have been a twin flame. The one that Spirit wanted me to meet, that would have been a twin flame. That would have been lots of heartache and drama. You know, not to say that he is heartache and drama, but it's the energy of the relationship that it would have been. You know what I'm saying? And then the first one, no. So it's like, you know, I'm looking for my divine counterpart, you know? And then my whole thing is like, it's not even for me about a divine counterpart. It's just like, at first, it wasn't even a divine counterpart. At first, it was like, because, see, I've evolved so much over the years. At first, I wanted to find like a mother figure. But now that I have my guides, I don't want a mother figure anymore. So then it was like a friend, right? But then I noticed maybe I'm not good at having friends. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm not. Like, or maybe I'm just so turned off by my past friends that I'm just not interested in having friends. Like, I don't know if that is it. I don't know, you know? So like at this point, I don't know what I want to, like, I know I want a divine counterpart, but at the same time, I just want genuine, somebody genuine. Like, it really doesn't matter who you are as long as you're extremely genuine with a clean heart, good intentions, positive intentions. You know what I'm saying? Like, a real protector. You know, when I was doing my meditation, I realized I've never been protected. I've never felt safe. I mean, I wouldn't say never. When I was younger, I was a little girl, I felt safe until I was 10, 11. And then when I moved into my father's house, all of that safety fell. You know? So since I was like 11 years old, I have not felt safe. I've been scared since 11 till 31. Till 31, I've been scared. I've been just living life scared. You know, searching for someone to protect me, but I am that protector. I am the one that protects myself. I am the one that protects myself. So it's like, and that, you know, I have the angels and the guides, my spirit guide to protect me, right? But yeah, this walk of an earth angel is a very lonely walk. I often go in Facebook groups and see other people saying the same thing. They're lonely, and it is. It's so lonely. It is lonely, especially having no one to speak to, you know? Because sure, you can speak to people, but you want to speak, like I personally want to speak to people who are spiritual like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to speak to people with an understanding of spiritual life and understanding about how life goes, so they understand things, right? So instead of asking why, or instead of like, you know, downing situations, we could explore the spiritual realm together. You know, we could explore the spiritual side of things together. You know, we could meditate together, you know, like do things like that. Go into nature together. Talk to the trees, hug some trees, right? Well, I'm making this video when did I make this video? Look weekly. Cause girl, I'm telling you, we are manifesting some friends. Cause I better come back and watch this video in like a year from now and be like, bitch, your life is different. Yeah, you are living a different life now. You are wealthy. You have so much love. Love is coming from everywhere. It's April 29th. So, girl, you got a year to make a difference. You know what I'm saying? You got a year to make a difference. Something has to change from now till next April. Because you are too amazing to be living your life, you know, so lonely. You don't need to be lonely. I mean, some of us really do. Sometimes I'm wondering if I do, because damn, like when I really sit down and analyze my struggle with friends and how I've been struggling to make them like me, and it's like, nah. But that was all, like, I can see the illusion of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that I've been seeing a lot lately. I've been able to see the illusions of situations, and I see the illusion in everything. I guess that's why I'm it's like nowadays I can't entertain a lot anymore, because I see the illusions in it, and I see that a lot of people don't want to grow as a person, and I just can't keep entertaining certain energies. Like, I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I just want to, I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I just want to like cut ties with everyone and start fresh. But anyways, I'm gonna go because I hear them freaking out upstairs now, child. Well, thanks for watching this with me. Thanks for being here. And I'm gonna make another video later tomorrow.
In the forest deep and green, fairies dance like shadows seen.